Maybe that's to be expected. Remember, death is the consequence of violating the Sabbath in Exodus 31, and the Pharisees knew that very, very well. You know, it wasn't so long ago that our culture treated Sabbath a lot more like the Pharisees do. I mean, who here remembers blue laws? You know, when businesses weren't allowed to operate on Sunday. There's still some vestige of that in this part of the country where lots of businesses will choose to stay closed on Sunday, but you go out west, you go up north, people don't care about any of that anymore. It's 24/7, everything, everywhere, always open. Well, I heard this story and I found this really amusing. The story from a woman who about 50 years ago was a little girl, and one Sunday during a particularly hot summer, she and her friends wanted to go to the pool, wanted to go swimming. But the parents weren't sure whether they could allow this. They weren't sure whether swimming on Sunday would be a violation of the Sabbath. So they went round and around and back and forth trying to figure it out and you know, sort out what they should do. Eventually they came up with a compromise that seemed like a very moral and law-abiding solution. They said the kids could go to the pool and they could go swimming as long as they didn't splash. No splashing on the Sabbath. That would be too much. Now, the parents meant well, of course. They, I'm sure, were motivated by a desire to show this real respect for the Sabbath. But even as we chuckle at that compromise, we show that we don't have the same kind of struggle with a legalistic Sabbath understanding these days. In fact, for us now, it's probably the opposite. I would say that Sabbath rest has really become a foreign concept for a lot of us in our culture. I mean, think about the people who we admire. Driven, overachieving kind of people. Think about the movers and the shakers, influential politicians and businessmen. They are people who are, by and large, working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. That's what you have to do nowadays. You have to put in overtime in order to be considered for the promotion or for the pay raise or to get ahead, to get people to notice you. We measure our worth and our success by how busy we can keep ourselves. Think about what people say when you ask them, how's it going? A lot of the time people will say, good. And that's just kind of a pleasantry. That's just kind of a non-answer to a non-question. But sometimes people tell you what they really have going on or what they really are feeling. And I notice more and more the answer to that question when I ask it is, I'm busy. I'm just so busy. I've got so much going on. I'm involved in this and that, and work is going full tilt, and I'm just trying to keep up with the kids and all their activities, and I am just busy. By and large, this is what we choose. We choose to live lives that keep ourselves busy. Why? I think part of the answer is pride. When we speak about our busyness, it's a way of advertising to the world how important we are. Because that's what important people do. They stay busy. They have lots going on. They're always involved in something. And so if I'm busy, then I must be important too. It's a way of kind of self-aggrandizing and calling myself busy or important. But there's also fear, I think. We stay busy because we're afraid not to be. We're anxious about all the work that needs to be done. We have to keep moving in order to stay ahead. We don't want to fall behind. We have to pull those all-nighters so that we can get the kind of grades that will get us into the program that we want to be, that will get us into the career that we want to have, so that we can take care of the people around us who we love, so that we can be comfortable.